Welcome in, chat. Welcome in. Excuse Brenda for a second. She's kind of getting her bearings because she has just been making a lot of faces right now.
I made myself a sandwich.
That's the first thing you said when you came back.
Yes.
Well, you just said the first thing in the chat was you just made yourself a sandwich.
I was hungry.
Hey, fair enough. That's usually why I try to eat before I do the streams.
Yeah, I didn't have an opportunity to.
Yeah, fair enough. What kind of sandwich anyway?
Ham and cheese?
You know what you should do? We made these yesterday. It's basically a fancy version of that, but if you can get a baguette and you can mix in some butter with mayo, you can make
I don't
some.
like mayo.
Okay, never mind. You'd be surprised how often you can make something sound fancy just by adding a little sauce to it.
I have spicy brown mustard.
Mmm. I like spicy stuff, but for some reason I don't like brown mustard.
I mean, it's like the only thing that I will eat that's called spicy. I don't find it spicy. It's just got a little kick to it.
I like spicy stuff, so pepper jack, jalapenos, habaneros, this ghost pepper hot sauce I got one time.
Can't do it.
Yeah, you're talking to the guy that likes spicy stuff. Ah. You know, I should make you a little bit bigger. There we go. And now I'm like supposed to be like a foot taller than you, but it's like maybe like a foot or two. How tall are you again?
5'7".
I'm supposed to be 6.9.
Too tall.
Well, that and the obvious joke. You really that surprised? Speaking of food stuff, did you see what I sent you?
I thought I responded to it already.
Yeah. But, did you at least see the recipe that was on that picture too?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the first thing on the project we're going to be working on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you never gave me somebody to choose, so I just chose a VTuber.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
I kept asking, hey, is there somebody you wanted me to try this out with first? Never responded. Yeah. I almost thought about making a red version too to go alongside it. I did get the strawberries, so I could try and make the dough after I cook up the strawberry meat. You eating it right now? Yep.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I can tell. You're moving your mouth, your lips back and forth like you're a fish.
Because I'm eating. I'm eating my sandwich. I'm eating it fast.
I'm just glad it wasn't cheesecake I put up there. Maybe I should put a hat on you right now. Hey, chat, you want me to put a hat on Rena?
Seltra's mad because he couldn't talk to me before stream.
Okay, Xeltro,
Look at
calm.
him, he's crying.
Just calm down. Just look at what you got on Steam, okay? Rena's gonna be mad at what I
mean,
got
he's
you.
He's at work, so he can't check anyway.
God damn it, there went the joke.
Eh.
Nah, I was gonna say you were gonna be mad as fuck at what I got him. I got him a giant robot. You sure? Because it's a giant robot from Mech Warriors.
Nothing is better than running. Yeah, I'm pretty great. That's fair.
Don't stroke her ego more than it normally is.
I don't blame you for saying that.
Oh my god.
I'm amazing. I'm the best that you'll ever have.
So you telling me you wouldn't spend a day with Optimus Prime?
Ew.
What you got against Optimus Prime? He's awesome.
I don't like robots. I can stroke something.
Uh, I'm supposed to be the magic sorcerer, and I like robots.
To be fair, you are a lot of things.
Uh-huh. Like what?
You like fighting games.
Yeah.
What is this tag that you have? Ask NF-DNBF. What the hell does that mean?
Did it catch your attention?
I'm just confused.
It's
The
called...
whole point of tags is not is to have a tag that people will recognize. Nobody's gonna click that.
No, but it's also bait for anybody that takes a look going, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't gel with it.
Hmm.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm leaving it there. It looks funny. Anyway, we are starting Mischief Monday about an hour and 30 minutes earlier, so we'll be doing this longer than normal.
Damn. Look at that.
What?
Starting earlier, huh?
Yeah.
Sucks.
What do
May
you
not
mean?
be a permanent thing, though. So, anything can change.
That's true.
It's not up to me. The stupid courts are being crazy.
Are you wondering why I don't like the fake court? I have never seen so much bullshit in one place as much as I've seen that.
I mean, that's just how things work. Isn't there a self room?
I'm
Glad you learned to last longer.
I gotta hit you with my tail.
Angry boy.
It's not angry boy. It's crash out boy.
Russia. I don't know. I think that's worse.
Well, can you blame me for being a crash out? That silence tells me you trying to figure out if yes or no.
I'm like thinking.
Well, think about it like this. How would you feel if you got stabbed in the back, ripped away from your wife or husband, so Owen, reawaken a million...
We're not together.
Alright, but let me keep going. Reawaken a million years later, and the first thing everybody wants to do is to kill you because they want to be some glorious remake of the hero.
Crashed out used to be making bad life choices.
Would you not be a crash out in the same situation as me?
I don't know. I'm a pacifist, so.
So literally everyone trying to kill you, calling you this great evil after you got ripped away from your family.
Did you not? Did you not watch my lure video where my mentor was killed and I got attacked by some random dude for no reason?
I did, but you also got to remember...
The Fae Queen hates my ass and she wants me dead too because I hang out with her son.
I did see all that, but remember one also thing that after that you did have a support system with your friends. I didn't, remember?
I mean, I suppose.
Remember, you, when you went forward in time, had Aurora, Biscuit, and Verity.
Yes, but I didn't start with them. My mentor died before I met them.
That's true, but nobody came and attacking you the first thing you did, right? As soon as you reawakened?
I mean, as soon as I came back, I got fucked. I mean, almost immediately as I came back. Then I found you. Then I sent you back home because you fucked up and ended up where I don't even know. You don't even know how you did that.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Managed to end up in my time. Don't fuck with time magic. That's what happens when you fuck around with shit you don't know how to play with.
I was trying to get back home, remember?
I'm her support dog. Yes, Selker's good boy. And then after some time, just some random dude just fucking showed up and attacked me. I was like, "What the fuck, my guy? I didn't do nothing to you. I didn't do nothing.
So you were
Why you
attacked.
attack?"
So you were attacked once, right?
That you know of currently. My mentor was murdered.
Yeah. Try 5 times a day as soon as you reawaken. By egotistical people calling themselves heroes. And you wonder why I don't like heroes or royalty or wizards. I always gotta keep myself in crash out mode just in case somebody tries to jump me like that.
I mean, I got the fake wing constantly at my back.
Yeah.
She'll stab me in the back if I.
Yeah, but you
Not.
got OP time magic.
Yeah, maybe, but she's not gonna stop. I can't just permanently freeze her. That'd be fucked up.
Yeah, but it
My
would be
own
effective.
morals told me back. I mean, it would be effective. It would use a lot of magic to constantly keep her maintained in a frozen state.
Just freeze her and I'll throw her in a black hole. Call it a day.
No, I can't do that. That's fucked up. She would get. I know what happens if you go through a black hole. She'll get literally ripped apart. I can't do that. My conscience won't let me.
Yeah, mine will.
I mean, can you shift over to the right a little bit and move me to the right a bit? Just because I am literally have chat on top of me. I know that that's where they like to be, on top of me, but it is very distracting to my eyeballs.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I'm pretty sure they would have liked to have their messages on your tits.
Yes, but if we need to clip anything,
It'd be funny.
it won't. No, it won't look good.
It's alright, chat. Can't really text on her tits anymore.
It would not look good for clipping material. Oh my god.
Gesundheit.
Oh, no, I'm choking.
Oh, sound like a sneeze.
Nope, that is me coughing.
Ugh.
My sneeze is very different from that.
Yeah.
Call me a chipmunk,
Quack.
not a duck.
Squeak.
No,
Chipmunk noises.
whatever chipmunks make.
It sounds like No, that's a squirrel. I don't know.
I don't know. It just I don't. You have to catch it.
Yeah. Same as when I found out capybara make noises.
I was told it was adorable.
It is.
I don't see it.
It is. Wait, did you listen to it or no?
My sneeze. I don't agree that it's adorable.
I was talking about the capybara noises.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've heard capybaras.
Yeah. It's the same as with the fox barking. It sounds weird, but it's cute.
Oh, I mean, yeah, fox barking is adorable.
Well, shall we get started, or shall we just keep goofing off?
I mean, it's up to you.
I still want to... no, let's just get started. The most important thing when it comes to being an... Okay, so now the words are over my face. So now I gotta shift you over.
You gotta be smart with your placements. That's why I have, I actually have it preset that if I hit a button, it moves me to a specific position at the size that I want to be at.
Alright. There we go.
So, you probably want to shrink yourself, yeah, or lower yourself.
I am. There we go.
I don't know if you could, but it might be better for chat to be a smaller size and not go as far down.
If it goes higher up, though, you can't even read chat.
No. I mean like the chat box being not as long, if that makes sense.
So like this, but you can barely read them.
Maybe change the text color then.
I'm still trying to.
No, but I mean, like, if you were to go back to your artist and tell them, hey, the chat thingy is too long, can you adjust it so that it's smaller?
All right.
Because now you just have a big empty space at the top, if you notice that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's barely legible anyway, as is.
That is an issue. I'm still trying to figure out how to change the colors of this thing.
The same way that you change the text for the names at the bottom left?
Let me see if this fixes it. Oh no, that just made it worse. Give us a second, everybody.
I'm just trying to figure it out a way. I don't know what you did. The text is completely gone now.
That somewhat fixed it. I'm just trying to change the color now. Maybe there's something red.
Maybe.
Nope, that just made it worse again.
I mean, it's not showing for me, so I have no idea.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Boo, 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 boo.
I think I fucked up the text. No, wait, there it is.
Keep in mind, there's going to be a delay, regardless.
Yeah. Main thing I'm trying to do is like change the text colors themselves.
I mean, you could also have it where there's an outline around the text.
Alright, how do I do that?
It's been a while since I've edited anything in my OBS, so I forget. It might make it more legible.
Yeah. I noticed.
Probably something to fuck with when you're not streaming.
Yeah, let's actually just get the game started. Where were we last time? Let's see. We'd already did the first one. We found out they fucked up the investigation. So now we're in the locker room, apparently.
Ah, yes, the locker room where all the good things happen.
What good things do you think happen in a locker room?
People get stuffed into lockers?
Why do you call that a good thing?
People's undergarments are in there? I mean, somebody might be into it. Right?
I don't get you. Anyway, shall you get started?
Yeah. I suppose. Are you sharing screen?
Yeah.
Okay, it was not showing up for some reason. And that something must point to the family of the 4 pillars.
Really, Celtro?
I said friend in the locker.
The commander looks a bit anxious. You know, Stillwind's orders say I can't snoop around here. But you two are on the other hand. Don't worry, just leave it to us. I have some school records that say which locker belongs to which student. You can use it to tell whose locker you're looking at. Well, let's start examining.
Oh, there's a arcane construct in the back here.
It's probably here to aid the students. Anyways, I don't think it's relevant to our investigation. Perhaps you should make a small note of it anyways. Use the legend that the commander gave you. You look carefully across the list and find some notable student names.
Clearly Wallace first.
Yeah, he's the defendant. You open Wallace's locker. Inside, you find a bottle of fragrant liquid and something that looks like a makeup kit.
Makeup kit. Oh, I didn't expect Wallace to use stuff like this.
It does seem strange, but it's not your place to judge. Anyways, you should try looking through the other lockers. Use the legend, so there's nothing worth of value, just a makeup kit. Gubby is into cosplay.
That's weird.
What, I've used makeup for cosplay before. So who next?
Just go down the line, I guess.
Yeah. You open the locker to Miriam Frega's ID number. Inside, you find a stack of worn-out textbooks and notebooks. Wait a minute. These notebooks all have Wallace's name on them. You open the notebook and look through its pages. It appears to be research on the art of necromancy. These are Wallace's notebooks.
Why indeed. But why are they in Miriam Frega's locker? Did Miriam steal with his things?
Huh? You need to let's check the locker more thoroughly.
Wait a minute. Tyrion, take a look at this.
That's blood.
That is blood.
So there's blood in Miriam's locker. Use the legend that the commander gave you. Look carefully across the list and find some notable student names. Alright, let's take a look at Jaden. You open Jaden von Sanctus's locker. Inside, you find several bottles of some kind of transparent lotion. There's nothing but lotion in here.
Oh.
I wonder why a student would need this much lotion.
You know what he's using the lotion for, let's be real.
Yeah, we both know it, but we don't want to say it, okay? This is still a school. You take one of the bottles to inspect them more closely. Please don't.
Yep, don't do that.
Yeah, even she's pointing it out. What?
Wait, don't touch those with your hands.
It's some kind of sanitizing liquid. It's a little strange, but it doesn't seem to be related to the case. So that was just hand sanitizer.
Uh-huh, sure it was.
Alright, so the last one is a Warren. You open Warren Sibyl's locker. Inside, you find some textbooks and a neatly stacked deck of tarot cards.
Ooh. Oh, it looks like those cards the fortune tellers use.
You know, tarot cards are actually really good to have on you.
I have several decks.
Yeah, but if you can, like, imbue it with some magic, you can get some pretty good skills out of it.
Yeah, if that's your skill set.
Yeah. On the other hand, if you charge it with some arcane, they make pretty good gambit cards.
Oh boy.
What? You didn't think I would do that one day?
I am never surprised with you.
Exploding cards is not that surprising, is it?
No, not really.
To be fair, Gambit is awesome. Nothing?
I mean, he's a cool character.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anybody who hasn't seen 97, but um, that is a man. It's the best way I can describe it. Oh, Rena,
Yeah.
you gonna read?
Yeah. Patience, my dear Padawan. Oh, it's like those courses that fortune tellers use.
Aren't I older than you?
I don't know anymore. Time is but a construct.
Yeah. Supposed to be weird for somebody who has an apprentice to be called a Padawan, especially when they're not from Star Wars.
Easy reference to make.
Yeah. Just because I have a lightsaber scythe, just because I can use arcane magic to make it one. And let's be real, if you could, wouldn't you want one? Like, it's not even for combat. A lightsaber is just useful in general.
How is it useful?
It is literally a laser sword. It's good for cutting down things like wood or cutting things. You can use it as a good light for the dark.
I could just get an axe and cut, or I can get a Celtro and have him turn his arm into a blade.
It also makes a really good flashlight. If you gotta cut something really strong, doesn't really run out of energy, you don't have to feed it. And it's not like you actually have to be a Jedi to use it.
Again, just get my shape-shifting dog to just turn his arm into an axe. I don't have to exert any energy at all.
And it comes in all kinds of colors that you would think is cool.
I can make Celtro change colors if I wanted.
Starting to sound more like dog abuse.
No, he's a shapeshifter. You know, sometimes he changes to blue. Doesn't look right for him, but he does it.
Most people would probably cut their own limbs off. Yeah, that's called being stupid with a lightsaber.
I mean, that's just the populace.
I wonder if the student studies divination magic. But anyways, I don't think this is related to the case. I think that's all of them, though. Yeah, that seems to be all of it.
We found a few things. But I can't really make any sense of it.
We should look at this from the prosecutor's perspective. Steelwood found something in one of the lockers. And whatever that was, it made her extremely paranoid. I believe...
The list?
What, Miram, right?
Yeah. No matter how we look at it, we found some insanely suspicious things in Frega's locker. It had Wallace's notebooks and even had some blood.
But that blood is certainly strange. It implies that something bloody was stored there.
Do you think someone stole it?
No, actually. I think it was Steelwind who took it.
Oh, right. Or mentioned that she investigated this room. She must have taken the bloody item as evidence.
But with that said, there's something else that's strange about Miram's locker. It had a lot of Wallace's possessions. It's possible that she really did steal those things from him. But it's more likely that this locker isn't actually hers. Remember what Wallace told us before? Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off my locker. Then they switch it with the number of another locker. I thought it was funny when the student who owned the locker got angry with me.
So, someone switched the nameplates.
That means this isn't Miram's locker. It's Wallace's.
But that would mean the bloody object came from Wallace's locker.
It appears so. Hmm. But if that's true, why didn't Steelwing present the bloody item during the trial? It proved that Bellwether was wounded before Valerie healed her. Wouldn't it have been the perfect time to present what she found? It was a bloody item found in the defendant's locker, after all. She could have easily proved that the nameplates were switched, too.
Something fucky.
No, you know what it. You know what it is.
Hmm?
My guess is that the item does have implications, but who would implicate isn't Wallace. It's probably somebody high up enough that she has to do it. What?
Yeah, but the framing, because they could be framed that it's Wallace's locker.
Exactly.
So, again, you could frame Wallace being as the bloody item is in Wallace's locker.
Yeah, but remember, this is also a school for royalty, isn't it? Or like higher ups. They might be very particular about certain items, especially if it's like a passed down item.
Maybe.
So, it's weird, right?
It is weird.
There's something more to this that you weren't seeing, but what? I think we'll just have to ask Steelwind ourselves. Alright. You think she's willing to play ball or no?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Oh, you're back.
We uncovered a few things during our investigation. Miss Steelwind, are you acquainted with a student named Mira Frege? I'll take that as a yes.
I will take that as yes. I said it before, Mr. Cuthbert. I won't fall for such oblivious bluff.
It's not a bluff, Miss Steelwind. And I'll prove it using the evidence we gathered. So your psychological profile is complete. Well, let's start the argument. Steelwind is paranoid and for whatever reason is due to the involvement of Mira Frege. If you could convince her to reveal why she's being so secretive, she might give you some information. You've been behaving strange, Steelwind. Even the Knights of the Inquisition have noticed. Please just tell me, why are you being so paranoid?
I'm not sure what you're trying to imply, Mr. Cuthbert. Nothing about my behavior has changed. I've approached this case objectively, just like I have with any other case.
Steelwind is extremely logical and won't accept arguments that aren't supported by evidence. However, she has become secretive lately, and her actions seem to be stemmed from paranoia. She's uneasy about the case elements that relate to Mira Frege, and she's very inclined to hide Frege's involvement from the court case at all. Might be the evidence in the locker. Wait, let me read what she says again. Nothing about my behavior has changed. So you think it's the evidence in the locker or the 4 pillars? Because that might also be the answer.
I mean, it could be one or the other. I'm not sure.
Let's try the evidence in the locker first. Nope. Not gonna read?
And what is that supposed to be?
It's clear evidence that your behavior has changed.
Please, what kind of fool do you take me for? I've already told you, your bluffs won't work on me.
So she's clearly somebody who focuses on logic. But we don't even have the profile of the person we're talking about. So my guess is gonna have to be the 4 pillars. No, that's
It was
another.
not.
Yeah, that's another failure.
Hmm.
Nothing about his behavior has changed. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way.
Could be.
Hmm. Oh, I should have said the orders. With the exception of you and Celeste, prosecutor Steelwind is not allowing anyone in key areas. She isn't even allowing the Knights of the Inquisition with these. She appears to be conducting this single-handedly. You order the Knights to stay away from the crime scene. And you even taken it upon yourself to conduct the investigation yourself. That is not normal behavior for a prosecutor.
I look at the actions because the Inquisition is incompetent. How could I possibly trust them with anything?
The Knights are incompetent, but even you can see the value of delegation. During Celeste's case, you still delegated tasks to the Inquisition, and you could have easily investigated the McCoy Tavern yourself. This academy is huge. You wouldn't conduct your investigation this way unless you had a good reason.
Hmm. Then why don't you enlighten me? What would cause me such to behave so strangely?
What would cause her to behave so strangely? Hmm. What do you think?
I'm not sure what to think.
I'm thinking of the four pillars again. Because remember, four most powerful noble houses include Steelwind, Freyga, and Sylvie and Sanctus.
Yes, that's
But
true.
the person that was in there is Freyga, and I think that's supposed to be like a higher house than her. Meanwhile, it says, why would I act and be such a way? What do you think?
It could work.
Let's try it. Oh, it isn't. You know the Inquisition is corrupt and will bend to the nobility. So what would happen if a powerful noble were publicly involved in this case? With the noble's influence, they'll probably order the Inquisition to conceal their involvement. A high-profile noble is involved in this case, Steelwind. And I believe that noble is Miriam Freyga.
Again, with this, do you think that you can bluff me by throwing out the names of random nobles? Not even every noble is a malevolent criminal like Garrick Pierce.
Oh, it was so fun making that guy suffer. You're still mad about me killing that guy, aren't you?
Why would I be mad?
You were thirsting over him.
Doesn't mean I'm mad.
Hmm.
Well, yes.
What? Hmm. Steelwind?
Oh, I thought I said that line already.
No, I just clicked on it.
Okay. I thought I said that line, so.
Alright.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, because you messed up. I guess. I mean, nothing about this case has anything to do with House Freyga.
Except for the fact that we found blood in her locker. Then how do you explain this, Steelwind? The commander told us that you were following a lead in the locker room yesterday. We investigated the lockers of the students from the Four Pillar families. And we found stains of blood in Mira Frigga's ID number, and it was presumably left by a bloody object. The bloody object was taken by somebody. And we heard that you became extremely paranoid after you found something in the locker. Hello, Ghost. Hope you're doing well.
Hello.
If I had to guess, I'd say that you took the bloody object as evidence.
Good question. And what evidence do you have to support these outrageous claims?
What?
The only thing you have is the evidence of a bloodstain. There's a myriad of explanations. For that, everyone you mentioned is pure speculation. I could find any number of things in that room, or possibly nothing at all.
Well, I can't really appeal. She's all evidence. So we gotta go rash. She's extremely logical and won't accept arguments that aren't supported, so maybe we should rationalize. Let's not be coy, Steelwind. Anyone can tell that the bloodstain is the most notable thing in that room.
How are you so sure? You weren't there with me in the middle of the investigation. As I've said, any number of things could have happened to change my behavior.
Oof. She's playing devil's advocate. The threat. We're gonna have to pull the owner into the stand. You found an object in the locker with Mira Frigga's nameplate on it. If you don't present what you found to the court, I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of that locker onto the stand.
That's ridiculous. We both know that the locker in question belongs to Wallace Nightgrave.
Can you unequivocally prove that, Miss Steelwind? Because the way I see it, there's a lot of room for doubt there. Enough doubt for me to pull Miss Frigga onto the witness stand. But if I had more context, maybe I wouldn't have to resort to that. You ever been on your feet all day, and when you finally sit down, your feet are throbbing like crazy?
Yeah.
Been like that for the past 3 days with me.
Crazy, isn't it?
What?
Oh, well played, Mr. Cuthbert. I suppose I don't have a choice, do I?
Successfully persuaded Area Starwind. Alright, we gotta know what the truth is.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Just so we're clear, I wasn't acting to protect nobility.
Good, they suck.
But I'll admit that Miriam Frege was the other witness that I saw Bellwether that day.
I see. I had some suspicions, but...
There's also another matter.
Yes, this is Arcane Ace Attorney. It's an indie game called Tyrion Cuthbert. We're basically acting the same as, like, Phoenix Wright and Maya Fey, except it's magic based. Steelwind looks uneasy.
Hmm. Yes. When I was investigating the body, I found this.
Evidence of academic dishonesty. A tightly packed folder containing several documents. The documents contain evidence detailing multiple instances of plagiarism, fraud, bribery of school officials, and various offenses committed by Miriam Frigga.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why she's hiding it. What the?
It looks like Miriam's been cheating at school.
But why would Bellwether have something like this?
From the way that it's arranged, I think it might have been blackmail. Oh. Miriam Frigga is considered prodigy in the practice of conjuration magic. She's won a litany of awards, and she will most definitely graduate with honors. If these files were to reach the public, it would absolutely ruin her reputation. Damn. Do you think that the professor was trying to threaten her? It appears so. When I discovered this, several elements of the case are still unknown. I decided to look through her belongings, and I mistakenly looked at the locker with her ID. I found this in that locker.
A rapier covered in blood. It was found in Wallace's locker. Apparently, it's a valuable heirloom to the House Frigate. Told you!
It was stolen weeks before the murder.
Ew. Still kind of leans into what I said earlier, that it had to have something that could have put their name on there. But now it looks like a twofer. Also, what is it with royals using rapiers?
The thing.
It's not even just that.
What do you mean?
Well, remember, a friend of ours used a rapier too.
Yeah, and?
She's a princess.
And?
And in a lot of Fire Emblem games, the lords use a rapier to start with. Why the rapier? I'm still trying to figure that one out.
It's an agile weapon.
Not really.
Yes, it is.
No, it's a stabbing weapon, not an agile weapon.
Yes, but it is very agile.
But it's also too thin to really be used in most combat. It's usually used for like a fencing tool. And yes,
You know that royals do like to fence, right?
I know they like to fence, but if you're going to be out of protection, you're going to use a fencing tool or a basic sword that has more range, more, weight, more way to protect yourself instead of having to be... Nobility would sometimes have honorable duels. Mostly the duels are with rapiers. That's true. I feel like, at least, maybe this is me and I would sound crazy, but I feel
You're
like...
thinking it, I think.
Probably am, but it's like, if I was a royal, I would have a rapier for like the honorable in-between duels, and a regular sword for every day. Like how
I probably have multiple weapons.
That's true. It's like how in the kitchen I have multiple knives for different purposes.
Yeah.
I should talk about my scythe. No, you want to talk about a bad weapon? We got to talk about how bad the keyblade is. Deflecting? Okay, you know what? Let's not deflect. Tell me what's wrong with my scythe, Celtro. Oh, sorry, Rena. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No, you said I was deflecting when I said, you want to talk about how bad a weapon? We talk about the Keyblade?
I didn't say deflecting.
No, he said deflecting. Now I want to know what he's saying is bad about my scythe. But, sorry, Rena, go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
No, read your line.
Oh, I was like not understanding what you were trying to tell me to do. Okay. It's very likely that this is the true motor weapon. The rapier is a valuable family heirloom at House Frego. And a few weeks ago, Miriam reported the rapier was stolen from her room. And then it was found in Wallace's locker.
Well, yeah, that's any kind of scythe, Celtro. What's wrong with my scythe? And remember, the way I hold it is more like a staff.
This is weird.
Not that I'm complaining, but why didn't you present this in court?
To be honest, I'd like to be avoiding involving House Frego by any means necessary. I knew it. You're just protecting her. Aren't you?
So basically, Celtro's problem with my scythe is that it's a scythe.
Is that his issue?
Yeah.
Interesting issue to have.
Yeah, considering it's basically a magic scythe. So it's more the equivalent of like a lightsaber. And even if I don't have the blade on using magic, it still acts as a really good hammer. I mean, you see how the scythe is and how like the head is like that like sharp shape to it. Well, yeah, scythe.
I mean, I don't find scythe personally my choice of weapon.
Yeah, that's the thing. The same weapon as pike would be better. Well, here's the thing. A sorcerer makes a weapon for multi-purpose besides just a weapon. I can mow Rena's yard more effectively. I can do that with fire.
No, you're gonna burn everything down. Jesus Christ. Can you not try to set my garden on fire again?
Okay, that first time, Faye stole my bag, remember?
Yeah, that's not an excuse. It doesn't excuse you from destroying my property.
I mean, you brought it back real quickly. Time magic.
Yes, you're lucky that I have time magic. Because if I didn't have that, then we would have a breaker problem. You know? Miss McCoy, do you recall how Wyvern Guard's justice system works? To acquit a defendant, you need to have unequivocal proof that they didn't commit the crime. To do that, they either need a solid alibi.
Or we need to prove that somebody else committed the crime.
suppose will happen if you bring Miriam Fregado onto the stand? House Frega won't allow one of its members to be indicated in a court of law. They'll plant and forge evidence to implicate your defendant. And they'll use the Inquisition to do so.
So that's why you've been keeping them away from the investigation.
That makes sense. Can't you do anything? The Stewans are the powerful too, aren't they?
Something tells me that it's not really that she can't do something, or that someone is stopping her from doing something.
Hard to say.
Ow.
I don't have the support of my house. Oh, see.
Ooh.
That's a big issue.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just a prosecutor, nothing more.
So she's kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place at this point. It's clear.
Seems so.
It's clear she clearly wants to get the right person, you know, caught.
Yeah.
But now that it seems to be implicating somebody of like a noble house, she's kind of stuck with dealing with the corrupt end of the system.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Steven, you know that this isn't fair for us. Just do nothing and let us win.
She's not going to let us do that. And it's not even a pride thing. Even if she lets us win, there's still the fact there's still going to be a murderer walking around. Celeste!
If we can't go after Miriam, then we can at least help us save Wallace. I'm not gonna do that. Why, what if Miriam Frege is the real killer? Her sword is the murder weapon, and Bellwether is trying to blackmail her. I seem to recall another case where an innocent person's sword was used to frame them.
She's got a point there.
As a prosecutor, it's not my place to decide who's guilty and who's not. I would engage in the corruption, even if it's a counter-corruption from the other noble house. I'm sorry.
Do you know where Miriam is right now?
Didn't you hear what I just said? I can't let her think that there's even the slightest possibility that you'll indict her. She'll bring the entire house, Wrath of House Frege, down on you.
Regardless, I can't do anything for Wallace unless I know everything that happened. Frege has the last piece I need to put everything together.
Well, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Her dormitory is room 107. Imagine that she'll be there considering that classes are suspended.
Thank you, Steelwind.
If I don't tell you, I'm sure that you'll probably find out just by using some other means. But please, Mr. Cuthbert, be careful.
Alright. Wow, that is a dark-ass looking room. Nope, it's literally just that dark. Follow Miss Steelwind's directions and find Miriam Frigga's dorm room. The dorm leading inside seems a lot more ornately decorated than the other dorms. You got to knock on the door, but you don't realize that it's only partially closed. As your fist comes into contact with the wood, you accidentally push the door wide open.
She's probably 16.
She's a student, so obviously.
Yeah, I mean, some of the students are older. Excuse me, how dare you barge into my room?
Sorry, I meant to knock, but...
Construct! Remove these hoodlums from my room!
Acknowledged. In the corner of the room, an arcane construct stands up and starts making its ways towards you. Before you can protest, it raises its fist to hit you. You only have enough time to raise your arms and brace yourself for impact. You close your eyes and wait for the blow. But instead, you hear the clang of steel against steel. Confused, you open your eyes and see Celeste standing between you and the construct. Her sword is drawn and she's using it to block the construct's fist. Upon taking a closer look at Celeste, the student stares curiously at her.
Construct, stand down!
Acknowledged.
I'm terribly sorry for that. I wasn't aware that this was your servant.
Celeste looks angry but puts away her sword without a word.
I haven't noticed you around campus. Are you a new student?
Oh, she's one of those. Alright, I better prepare myself.
So she thinks you're a personal attendant? What?
Yeah. You see an opportunity? Yes, my master just enrolled here recently.
What?
Celeste gives you a puzzled look, but you make a silent gesture back. After a moment, she seems to realize what you're doing.
Yes, I just started here. I take it you're Miriam Frigga. Yes, I'm honored that you recognize me. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss, I'm Celeste Mc...
She catches herself and pauses for an awkward moment.
Steelwind. I'm Celeste Steelwind.
Maybe you should have gone for a little bit of a lower class than that. Can't believe her. There's no way she's going to believe.
Is it Steelwind? It's a pleasure to meet another member of such an esteemed house.
Yep, she's one of those. Wait, she's actually buying this? I even like how they changed the Steelwind on the name. Oh, you gotta act. So try and keep the soft voice, but try to act a little bit more high and mighty.
I mean, she's pausing. She's pausing. She's uncertain.
Yeah.
She's not acting high and mighty.
Alright. Maybe when we get more into it, she'll do it.
Maybe. That depends on her reactions.
Okay.
I just moved and I thought I should introduce myself. Seeing as you're a top student in the field of conjugation.
Conjuration.
Yes.
Well, there's no backing out now.
See, she's uncertain. She's not used to doing stuff like this.
Miss Frigga, I was wondering if we can ask you some questions about...
Excuse me, I don't believe anyone has permitted you to speak.
Oh, here we go. Celesta's still smiling, but you can faintly hear her grinding her teeth together.
So, we heard about what happened to Professor Bellwether. I can't believe it. Yes, quite a tragedy what happened to her. She has always been an acquaintance of House Freyja.
She appears to be more receptive towards Celeste.
Oh, she thinks she's a steward.
It might be better to let her take the lead on the questioning.
We heard that you saw her on the day of the murder. Could you tell us more about what happened? Oh, you heard about that from your relative, didn't you? If you don't mind me asking, why are you so interested? Oh, you know, I'm just curious is all. You know how an eventful life can be sometimes. Big and noble and all.
Alright, tone it down.
Oh, is that all? I was worried you were going down the same path as the poor, confused Arya.
What does she mean by that?
But I'm in the middle of a study break anyways. I suppose I have some time to sate your curiosity. Construct, please prepare us some tea. Use the lotus tea that we've imported for the Eastern Kingdoms.
Oof. Every time I'm seeing this, I'm kind of reminded why I hate nobles so much. Or royalty.
All of them are like this.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Even you? Who am I kidding? You're definitely the same.
What?
You telling me you're not in any way, shape, or form using favor?
No, I have my business and I run my business.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the fact you're very close to the prince has nothing to do with that.
No, we're best friends. He was my childhood friend. I run my business and we hang out sometimes.
Uh-huh. Acknowledged.
Lotus tea?
Rena would never blow anyone to win a case. I never said she did. Where the hell did you get blow from anyway?
Don't worry about it. You want lotus juice?
You feel like you're slowly losing control of the situation. Okay, tone it down. We don't need another cheesecake incident. By the way, I still never forgave you for digging through all my cheesecake files in my head.
Ooh, I don't do that.
You were a ghost and you literally went through all my cheesecake files.
Oh, that wasn't cheesecake files. That was other things. Don't worry about it.
Jesus.
I heard that you saw the professor on the day of the murder.
Yeah, I had to stop Brenna from stealing my Oreo cheesecake recipes. Especially the one which was like white rum and strawberry Oreo cheesecake. Then there was the vanilla bean one.
Why are you accusing me of things that didn't happen?
Because you were literally inside my head. And I have video proof of you doing it.
That doesn't mean shit. where did this happen? I was in the hallway when I saw her coming in the headmaster's office. She was heading towards the library. Do you remember what time this happened? Oh, I'm not really sure, honestly. It's a little embarrassing, but I have a bad habit of getting too absorbed in my work. Sometimes I'll let the entire hours pass without noticing.
Do you have a rough idea at least?
I think it was in the morning.
She thinks it was in the morning.
But anyways, did anything seem off about her? No, it was short encounter.
There's no words, but I did see the surprise.
I merely greeted her, and she responded in kind.
At least that's what should have happened? Huh?
Maybe she was dead. I mean, it was implied that she could have been dead before then.
Yeah. I thought just now, what does it mean? You slowly glance at Celeste and catch her attention. In small motions, you shake your head to indicate that Miriam is holding something back.
Were you and the professor on really good terms? I heard she was pretty mean towards the other students.
Suspicious.
Toward the riffraff, maybe, but not like students like us. She was a great ally to House Frege.
Or she used to be.
That's why we were planning on appointing her as the new headmaster. Oh, they have impact on that. Wait, what did you say?
Hold on.
Did you just say that the family was going to appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster? I'm surprised you didn't know. House Frege holds several seats on the Academy's board. We're making plans to have her replace that lout Redmond. Fuck that guy.
They were going to sack the headmaster?
Did Headmaster Redmond know about this?
I'm going to guess and say a hell no. What do you think? Called it.
Of course not. This was a large-scale plan. Along with Redmond, we're also going to replace all of the staff members with arcane constructs. We have to keep everything under wraps, or else I would have left prematurely.
Look, Ren, I'm just going to say it now. Replacing an entire school with constructs is the dumbest idea I've ever heard of. What?
I don't know. I'm not sure for sure.
Constructs are basically only made using the bare minimum of human thought. Let me put it this way. Would you let an AI teach you stuff? No, right?
I guess, but it's not necessarily the same as AI.
No, but you at least get the point, do I? You kind of need that human factor, especially when it comes to learning some stuff. Especially to be able to think on the fly, because if you're coming up with a problem and it doesn't have an answer, it's just going to short circuit trying to think of something. But it doesn't have like the knowledge, the experience, or anything. You're just putting the info into the construct. That's why there's no way in hell to do a perfect construct of a person. And anybody who says that is telling you a bigger lie than, I don't know.
And that's where... And where would that leave us?
But Jan supposedly overheard Bellwether talking about the constructs. Did Bellwether prematurely reveal the plan, or was Jan lying about how he found out? Yeah, exactly. Ghost said it. AI thinking is direct while human thinking is unique. Heck, I don't remember if the story was true or not, but one story I heard was like a group of Marines trying to trick this AI program to get close to it. And you want to know how they tricked it? They just moved really slowly like they were trees because the AI was programmed to see the motion of like humans or like cars or something like that. But not like wild animals or, you know, nature. You need that kind of thinking.
I'm trying to think of that exactly.
All right, here's one that's for all the 40K fans. I never played 40K, but I heard the story so many times it makes me laugh. A Marine was left alone facing orcs, and because orcs apparently have some sort of psychic energy that makes them believe whatever is true, the Marine just pointed up his fingers and go bang, 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 like it was bullets, and the orcs actually believed it and fall over dead when the Marine had no ammo left.
Mm-hmm.
But he lost because instead a group of orcs was charging at him thinking, I'm a tank, I'm a tank, I'm a tank. You need to be able to think on a fly like that, and that's where a construct will never work.
I suppose.
Really? I heard that one a bunch of times.
I mean, I don't know. I've never heard of it before.
After the stream, I'll see if I can find it. Send it to you, Central.
But alas, with Bellwether gone, we have to delay our plans.
Sometimes it's just memes, not actual canon, but I'm curious. It could be a meme I've read, but I kind of like to believe it's true because that's funny as hell. Housefinger was planning to fire Headmaster Theodore and replace him with Catherine Bellwether. There was also plan to fire all the Academy staff and replace them with Arcane's constructs. It's supposed to be kept a secret, but according to Jan, Bellwether revealed his plan to the Headmaster during a meeting a few weeks ago. The rapier.
So weird that Arya took your rapier as evidence for the case. Can you believe her? She still won't give it back to me.
I mean, it's evidence.
My father will have her head if I can't get it back soon. I even become part of the investigation anyways. I don't know. Arya won't tell me anything. What a cunt. I swear, if that necromancer is the one who stole it, I'll execute him myself. So, someone did steal it from me. Yes, from right out of my room. When did this happen? About a few weeks ago. I noticed when I came back from one of my classes. Someone removed my rapier from the display case in my room.
How did they get in your room in the first place?
Do you think someone used magic to teleport past the door? Please, I'm the master of conjuration magic. If someone attempted that, my enchantments would have shunted them out.
That means the thief came through one of the doors or windows.
I bet it was that necromancer. I'm sure a street child like him just knows how to pick a lock.
Or hear me out, you left the door open. I'm not gonna lie, smiling angry is scarier than just flat out being angry.
I mean, the only reason why we know she's angry is because of this.
Yeah.
I heard that you're one of the Academy's top students. Your grades must be amazing. Of course. As an inheritor of House Frege, my grades are impeccable.
Feels good to have my greatness recognized. That's strange. You don't see any contradictions. Huh. Make a gesture towards Celeste to continue pressing her.
What kind of magic do you study here? You must be joking. I study magic from the School of Conjuration. Just like most members of my house. The School of Conjuration. A type of magic specialized in special manipulation and teleportation, right? Yes, I consider myself quite the expert in the field. Why, the Crown Prince himself has asked for my assistance in a research study.
Okay, so there's no contradiction with her thought or her reaction. Something's amiss. Again, you don't see any thought that contradict what she's saying. Does that mean she's not lying?
I mean, it seems she's not lying.
Yeah, if she's actually that smart, why would she be cheating? Let me look at this evidence again. A tightly packed folder containing several documents. Documents contain evidence detailing multiple instances of plagiarism, fraud, bribery of school officials, and various other offenses committed by Miriam Frege.
I mean, maybe Frege found out. I mean, maybe she was found out that she was trying to, to work towards the plan to get the headmaster replaced. Maybe Bellwether doesn't actually want that.
No, the way Bellwether acting, she definitely wants it.
No, not necessarily. She might want it like an actual, like, the proper way, not like through bribery. If that makes sense. You said something about my wayward relative before. Were you talking about Arya? Oh, I'm terribly sorry if I offended you. But I'm sure it must be a pain. You see the way she's been acting lately. Yes, it's been extremely hard.
Hang in there, Celeste.
Did you know that she even interrogated me about the murder yesterday? You believe it? A Steelwind, running around a crime scene like it's a common night. Why, if I tried something like that, my father would disown me.
Does the nobility not approve of Steelwind becoming a prosecutor? You always thought that it was strange. What is motivating her to do this?
Honestly, she probably thinks she can do anything just because of her betrothed.
Asta deserves better. Calm down, Celeste. You can keep the act going. Celeste's eyes perked up upon hearing this. You'd be lying if you weren't also curious who this Aster is. But you shoot her a stern look that tells her to stay focused. Can't risk blowing your cover for some gossip.
You have an arcane construct in your room? I thought they were only allowed in the library and the locker room. This construct was a gift of the House Van Sanctus. I have to say, it's quite convenient to have around. They look really cool. Maybe I should get one. You should. The construct would be far more useful than this attendant of yours.
Oh, really? I could be useful to my, employer here. Especially at night.
Don't worry about
Now
She doesn't need to know. It's none of her business.
Okay, fair enough. I swear, I know we're reading a reaction, but I got the feeling she just wants to swing at her right now.
Unfortunately, there are still some issues with their intelligence. Their intelligence? There are issues when you give them complex commands.
How complex are we talking?
It might be easy to show you.
Miriam turns to the construct and begins gesturing towards it.
Construct, please retrieve my textbook and bring them here. Then cast Steel Wind Strike at this location. After that, retrieve some plates and set them out on this table.
Acknowledge.
What?
The contract stands up and retrieves Miriam's textbook from one of the shelves in a room. It brings them to the table you're sitting at, just like she ordered. But then it suddenly stops moving.
Wait, what happened? The construct obviously can't cast Steel Wind Strikes. My second command was impossible to carry out. But did you notice something else? It ignored your third command too. Correct. My third command was possible to carry out. So why did it ignore that command? Constructs execute a series of commands in that order that they were given. But let's say one of those tasks is impossible to complete. When the construct gets the task, it deem the entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether. So when a task of series commands is impossible, then that command will interrupt the sequence of commands. Exactly.
So basically, what says it right here? Completes A, B, C. It will process each of them. The construct won't realize this until it reaches task B. When it reaches task B, that deems the entire series impossible and stops what it's doing. E, without even attempting to complete task C. Lady Steelwind, I'm afraid we must leave now if we want to make our next arrangement.
Oh, right. Let's go, servant. Oh, leaving already? It was a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, sure. I hope to see you around.
You make your way back to the foyer with Celeste. While I'm pretty sure Celeste is calling her a cunt under her breath. All the time you spent, you only had a brief amount of time before night falls.
Are you sure you didn't want to talk to her more?
I'm fairly certain you wanted to punch her.
We're getting a lot out of her.
We already got a lot of useful information out of her. The more time we spend with her, the more likely she is to see through our ruse.
Ooh.
What?
I mean, he has a point. Right.
So why Steelwind?
I don't know. I am panicked. Arya's like the only noble I know.
What about Pierce?
I'm not using that creep's name.
Well, hopefully Steelwind doesn't mind us borrowing her name.
And we got her statement of what she saw that day.
And there's also what she said about her rapier.
I bet she was lying when she said it was stolen. She's probably trying to establish an alibi.
I'm not so sure.
Why do you say that?
Doesn't it feel too obvious? If she was lying about the rapier being stolen, that would imply that she planned all of this in advance. But if she had to choose a murder weapon, why would she choose something that literally has her name on it? I understand that the murder was spur of the moment decision. She might have just used something nearby in that case. But if this was all premeditated and committed by Miriam, the rapier would be the last weapon she'll choose.
Right. I guess that makes sense.
Hmm.
Mm.
There's also the evidence of academic dishonesty. It doesn't match up with what we heard from Miriam.
You mean all that stuff about working with the Crown Prince? She was probably making things up to look good in front of me.
I have an insight when it comes to things like this. Under normal circumstances, I can usually tell when someone is lying. And a lie as grandiose as that would be something I could definitely see right through. People will harshly shield themselves from the eye of horrors even if they don't know about it. But when they do that, they usually can't see any thoughts from them. You also saw that she was lying about her encounter with Bellwether. You would have sensed dissonant thoughts that she was lying about her grades.
Well, I guess I trust your insight. But what does this mean?
I don't know. Even with everything we found, I'm still not sure who the real culprit is. At the very least, I think we should still try to pull Miriam onto the stand. If she testifies in court, we might be able to find something I can use. But there's a big maybe. If you don't play your cards right, you might spook the Fragus enough to pay off the judge.
Very possible. Either way, it's getting late. I probably should turn in soon.
Yeah. Just hope you did enough to quit Wallace. Ah. Alright. So now it's my turn to put myself in the be right back mode. Can you entertain the chat while I go to the bathroom?
Me?
Yeah.
I suppose I can try.
Alright. I'll be back, everybody. Just talk to the runner here. I will put her front and center while I use the bathroom.
He's gonna be a piss pee boy, isn't he? Oh damn, I said that before he left. Hello. How's everyone doing this fine day, evening? I hope. Smooch Rina, yes, I am the best. Anyone would want to smooch me. Anybody. Hug Rina, yeah. Nice to see you, Bruce. I'm glad you can be here. Hanging out. Are you guys excited for tomorrow? For the stream tomorrow? I know I am excited for the stream tomorrow. I'm trying to make sure I do what I can to make sure we're on the right page, right process. Does anybody have any plans coming up? I have so many plans myself. Gonna give you head pats. I love head pats. Sounds like the best thing ever. You absolutely should do that. I require them. Ah, yes, head pats. No, they're not tasty. You can't eat them. Why would you think that you can eat them? They're not for food, not for consumption. Not for consumption. You guys are bad. Very naughty. You never know what to say in Jurus' streams. I'm like stuck here, interacting, being, being Arena as best I can. Tease the Rena, taste the Rena. Who wouldn't want to do that? Hmm. Isn't that right? Yes.
Quack.
A quack?
Yeah, I'm back.
Why would you quack?
Because it's funny.
I don't know about that.
Water ASMR. Back to the game. Court is now resumed in the trial of Wallace Nightgrave. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. It is revealed that the trace of necromancy may not have been left by the defendant. It may have been left by a witness who used necromancy in an attempt to heal the victim. However, the victim was seen by a witness well after her time of death. This can only be explained by the defendant using necromancy to animate the victim's body. This leaves the question, where did the murder take place? Does the prosecution have an answer for this?
Based on the testimonies of several witnesses, it's very unlikely the murder took place in the library.
Interesting. What led you to this conclusion, Miss Steelwind?
First, I'd like to remind the court where the victim was sighted before the body was found. It began when the victim had a meeting with the headmaster near the center of the building.
Our meeting was rescheduled for 12 p.m. according to my schedule for that day. Our meeting lasted for an hour.
This brings us to the statement of the next witness, the student at the academy. The student saw the victim walking in the hallways. I saw her coming out of the headmaster's office. She was heading towards the library. Which means that a first witness saw Bellwether leave the headmaster's office. Presumably this would have happened after her meeting there. That would make this time of the counter around 1 p.m. The other event is the discovery of the body, which was when Valtinus contacted security. That is you.
I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in the classroom. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her.
As we've already established, this event occurred at 3:04 p.m. But the significance of this time is what occurred before the body was discovered. The second witness, a member of the cleaning staff, spotted the victim in the West Wing hallway.
Bellwether knocked over a vase, and there were shards and dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 or 30 minutes before the twins found the body.
This means that the encounter must have happened no later than 2:30 p.m. And this implies that the victim was near the library between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. According to the defendant's statements, he was in the library during this time period. Furthermore, the time of death was at 2:07 p.m. This means that Mr. Hughes saw the victim's animated body.
Steelwind's deductions. From 12 to 3.
Indeed.
I see. Your deductions clearly tracks, Miss Steelwind. What do you have to say in your defense, Mr. Cuthbert? The prosecution's argument is definitely well thought out, Your Honor. However, it is entirely predicated on the testimonies of all the witnesses involved. Yeah, we're defending a necromancer. Steelwind's deductions has that as a whole somewhere.
Well, didn't she say it was like around morning from the first one?
Yeah. Since your conversation yesterday, you had a feeling that Miriam is hiding something. If you want to get the truth, you'll need to drag that out of her through cross-examination. Your Honor, to test the validity of the claims, the defense would like both of these witnesses to testify. The defense calls Miriam Frege to the stand. Frege? At the mention of her name, the judge's face turns into a bit pale.
I had a feeling it would come to this.
Do you have any objections, Miss Steelwind?
I do not, Your Honor.
Very well. Bailiff, please escort Lady Frege to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the... You little snakes. How dare you deceive me?
You kind of did that to yourself.
Looks like she found out. I had the opportunity to debrief the witness beforehand. Miss McCoy, for the record, I told you to exercise discretion. I did not mean that you should impersonate a member of my family. Sorry about that. I gave you all the tea that I imported from the Eastern Kingdoms. I demand that you return it to me.
What did you do with all the tea?
No, you gave them to me. They're legally mine now.
I'm not sure what your business with the witness is, Miss McCoy, but I'd ask you to please handle your personal disputes outside the courtroom.
Anyways, Miriam, could you please testify to the court your encounter with the victim? Very well.
Why did McCoy really want all that tea?
She likes lotus juice, remember?
Oh, yeah. Hey, of all picks.
Ball picks.
Yeah, there's a Vulpix in the chat.
Put me down, I don't want to be on this stool.
Oh, yeah, sorry. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh.
left my room and I went on a walk, and that's when I saw Professor Bellwether exiting the headmaster's office. She was walking my direction, so I greeted her, and she responded in kind. After that, she headed towards the library. In short time after that, I went back to my room and continued my work.
I see. So it was only a brief encounter.
However brief it was, the witness testimony verifies two things. One is that Miss Frege saw the professor exiting the headmaster office. And the other was that she witnessed the victim heading toward the library. This gives a rough timeline when the victim was before she died.
That does seem consistent. Did Bellwether really enter the library that day? You feel like you would have seen her there if she did. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
The time is in question. So.
What, the time?
I mean, we know the time is in question.
Yeah. I feel like we gotta press to get into it. And
Probably.
you're sure that you saw her exit the headmaster's office? Can I save before making choices? I don't really like save scumming. Unless it's a very bullshit, like, case. Brenna?
I don't know. You do what you want. This is your game.
No, I mean, waiting for you to read.
Oh, I mean, you were talking about save scumming.
Yeah, they asked, can you save before making choices?
Yes, I remember it clearly. I was surprised that she was still meeting with the headmaster at all.
She must be talking about how they were plotting to replace him.
Did you interact with the professor at all, Miriam?
She was walking my direction, so I greeted her as she responded in kind. Did anything seem off about her?
No, but it was a very short encounter. It's not as if we stopped to have a conversation.
You said that you greeted her and she responded. What words did she use?
Why is that important?
Miss Frege, it's possible that someone used illusion magic that day. Every detail about the victim's interactions could be important.
Well, I bid her good morning. And she said good morning in response. Lie.
Something about this is bullshitting. Let me look at the evidence. Bellwether had a tense relationship. I feel like this could lead to something. But I don't know if I want to like dive right in because I don't really see somebody with this reputation saying good morning in response.
I mean, she didn't have a bad relationship with with her family, though.
Hmm.
Keep in mind, like, their family had a good relationship.
That's true. Let me press it some more just to be safe. And you're certain that nothing seemed off about her?
Yes, like I said, it was a very short encounter.
Why did she say that?
It only happened over a few seconds. The witness interactions are not what's important here. What matters is if she witnessed the victim coming from and where she went afterwards.
I feel like I want to present the reputation. She had a history of bullying students from the common folk and mistreating the academy staff. For several years, she used her position.
Yes, but she's also not a common folk.
That's true.
Sorry, you think you might not be on the right.
Let's talk about the library then. Did you see her enter the library?
I didn't, but there's not much else in that direction. From the testimony of John Hughes, we all know that she later came to the library. Even if she didn't enter the library, she was still in the area for more than an hour.
So those are like the main ones, but the main thing is how long the time is. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. That might be it.
I told you at the time.
Good morning. Ms. Frege, if I recall correctly, you have a habit of getting absorbed in your work. So much so that you'll even lose track of time of that day.
Yes, but what does that have to do with my testimony?
Earlier in today's proceedings, the prosecution made the following argument.
A witness first said Bella to leave the meeting with the headmaster. And that would the time of the counter was around 1 p.m.
Miss Frege, if you had said good morning to the professor, you would have been mistaken. Because that encounter could have only happened after the afternoon.
And your point is? You said it yourself, Mr. Cuthbert. The witness simply lost track of time.
What the witness said isn't what's important here. The significance is what the professor said in response. She had just come out of a meeting with the scheduled for noon. She would have been well aware that it is no longer morning. So why would she respond good morning? Wouldn't she have corrected the student?
Their encounter was extremely short. And the victim's mind may have been preoccupied. She could have easily responded to the witness without thinking. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of agree with her. It's hard to not believe they were both confused at the time.
Oh, definitely a stretch. But you still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. Every time you ask her about Bellwater acted that day, the eye picks up something. There has to be something there. Miss Frege, you haven't been entirely truthful in your testimony, have you?
That's absurd. What reason would I have to lie?
It's a small detail. Why does he even care? Every detail about how she acted is important, Miss Frege. What aren't you telling us?
Mr. Cuthbert, you have no basis to accuse the witness of perjury.
Yes, you will stop this at once. Miss Frege, you're lying about how Bellwether responded in your greeting, aren't you? All she did was yell at me? All she did was yell? Miss Frege, is it possible that Bellwether's response was less than friendly?
What do you care? What difference does it make?
Why is he being so persistent? My job is to make sure every part of the testimony is truthful. Every detail matters, no matter how seemingly insignificant. Mr. Cuthbert, you will stop this or I will fine you in contempt. The professor yelled at you, didn't she, Miss Frege?
So what if she did?
I'm sorry, but there's no going back to what you just said. So, you do admit she yelled at you.
You impertinent little... Yes, I admit it. The professor did not greet me back that day. Oh, good morning, Professor. Be quiet. He yelled at me to be quiet. But until then, we've always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood. Don't believe me, right? But that's it. Everything else I said was the truth. I did see her come out of the headmaster's office and walk toward the library.
So she wasn't lying about that.
So is that all, Mr. Cuthbert?
What do you mean, is that all?
You badgered this witness, also you could prove what exactly?
The witness committed perjury.
The witness changed a small detail of her testimony. A detail that's inconsequential to the case. It was clearly an act with no malicious intent.
After seeing her thoughts, it's hard to disagree with that. You were so sure that the eye would lead you somewhere. But Frege was only lying to save face.
The witness saw the victim leave the headmaster's office to head towards the library. Do you have any concrete evidence to refute that, Mr. Cuthbert?
No, I suppose I don't.
Oh, wait, is this really okay? At this rate, this will be the only chance you have to cross-examine her.
I don't think she's lying anymore. And I was really pushing my luck earlier. If I continue pressing her, the judge might actually charge me with contempt. But if Miriam isn't the one who's lying, then... The defense has no further questions for the witness, Miss Steelwind. The prosecutor stays silent for a while. She almost looks disappointed.
Very well, Miriam, you are dismissed.
William still looks like she's fuming, but she leaves the room without protest. Huh. The judge breathes a sigh of relief as the young noble is escorted out the room.
Now with that out of the way, what else do you have, Mr. Cuthbert?
The only way to refute the prosecution's theory is to cast doubt on one of the witnesses. If it wasn't Miriam, then, Steelwind, to test your theory, we must question every witness that saw the victim that day. So with that said, the defense would like to call Jan Hughes to the stand.
I hope you understand, Mr. Cuthbert. Your entire case rests on the assumption that one of the witnesses' accounts are incorrect. If your cross-examination of Mr. Hughes leads nowhere, then I hope you're ready to concede.
You don't like the sound of it, but she's right. Unless you can find something in Jan's testimony, you really won't have anything to dispute her theory.
Bailiff, please bring Mr. Hughes. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the courtroom. Witness, name and occupation.
Right. My name is Jan Hughes. I'm one of the cleaning staff of the academy.
Mr. Hughes, please testify to the court your encounter with the professor that day.
Do your damn job, Chainlink!
And like, that's literally your job. Why are you doing that?
I saw the professor when I was cleaning the West Springs hallway. It was about 20 or 30 minutes before the body was discovered. She walked by me, but she looked pretty out of it. I heard she was undead when this happened. Pretty creepy, if you ask me. After that, she went into the empty classroom. Well, that was straightforward.
Come on, Shannon. What are we supposed to do with that?
I don't know. You guys are the lawyers. I'm just telling you what I saw. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. This guy was the most straightforward out of all of them. Saw the professor, was cleaning the ring. It was about 20-30 minutes before the body was discovered. Let me see. I'm not going to present anything. I just want to see this. Yeah, that's true. She walked by me, but she looked pretty out of it. I heard she was undead, but that was creepy. Let me see what they mean by pretty out of it. Did anything else look off about her? I mean, yeah, she was undead after all. That remains to be proven, if you say so. Anyways, what was her demeanor like? She looked like she was in a bad mood. Either that or she was tired. But I guess she was just dead inside, literally. That's not helpful. How are you so sure about it was 30 minutes before? I always check the time to make sure I'm on schedule. I was supposed to finish cleaning the hallways by 3 p.m. Right, the body was discovered by 3:04.
What was the professor like, Mr. Hughes?
I believe you forgot a few details about what the professor did. Yeah? Sorry, it's hard to remember those things sometimes. What details should you ask him for? Did she touch anything? Did she knock over a vase?
Did.
Yeah, let's over touch. Did she touch anything? Oh, yeah. She knocked over a vase and shattered it. It might have been an accident, but she's done stuff like that on purpose before. This detail could be extremely important. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Hughes. Whatever you say, man. Let me look at what we got. Hmm. What about this?
Mm.
Read what it says. 30 minutes
Yeah,
before Twin walked past, she knocked over a vase and shattered it. Even though Jan didn't say anything to her, she yelled him to be quiet after this interaction. Let me read what it says again. Let me press. I forgot a few details. Let me see. Did she make any sounds? Did you hear any sounds? Oh yeah. After she knocked over the vase, she yelled at me to be quiet, but I didn't even say anything. The detail could be extremely important. I heard she was out dead, which is creepy when she yelled at me. It's like one of... Huh?
Did you press that she yelled at him?
Maybe there's something in the spells I'm missing.
Did you press that she yelled to be quiet?
Yeah, if I do that, it's just gonna have me change it again. I believe you forgot a few details. Yeah, like I said. Did she do anything to you? Oh, yeah. I didn't notice. Actually got in her way. She shoved me to the side and kept walking forward. I don't think I remember this one to his testimony. I heard she was dead when she pushed me out of her way. He was in the past, so she shoved him out the way. He said that. After that, she knocked over a vase and yelled, "Be quiet." There's something about that particular one that's like bugging me. I mean, it matches his statement correct. But what are witnessed by Jan must have been disguised with an allusion to it there. Wait.
What?
It said knocked over and he thought it was an illusion, but read this. The disguise can make the target look 1 foot smaller. Elements hidden by the spell. Any element created by the spell are purely visual. You cannot make physical contact with it.
Yes.
You think it's this one?
I mean, he made physical contact with it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it said he shoved him in the way. I'm just gonna keep pressing until I can think it through. See anyone else in that classroom? I'm honestly not sure. I wasn't paying much attention to her. I did think it was weird that she went in there. With the funky smell, I can't think of anybody who would go there willingly. Oh yeah, mistakenly put our raid to smell that room. He's not giving much, is he?
Nope. That's for sure. He's not giving us a lot to work with.
He tends to leave out details unless we directly ask him about it. I just need to ask him the right questions. So it is that fourth part. I heard she's undead, which is pretty creepy because she pushed me out of the way. But weren't they casting illusion? Let me read this. The bellwether witnessed by Jan Hughes must have been disguised with an illusion. In addition to that, whoever he saw that day was physically there.
Hmm.
Whatever it is driving me insane. I mean, this all matches what he said with his testimony, so... What are you thinking?
Hmm.
You got anything?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Guy's straightforward, but... I still think it has to do something with the... Reanimate the target using the life force. Create an undead minion. The minion follow cast the orders, but its intelligence is limited and cannot speak. Wait! Hold up, go back. I thought about something. She said be quiet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that's a zombie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Read this spell. Animate corpse. If she was a zombie, the minion follows, but its intelligence is limited and it cannot speak. It can't say be quiet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with this. Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words? I think she ought to be quiet. What? Oh, that's you.
What?
I thought it was weird. I didn't even say anything. But I know better than to talk back to her. That's the thing, Hughes. The prosecution's theory is such. The professor was murdered in the library and was reanimated using animate corpse. With a quick illusion spell, no one would notice that she was undead. However, if what you said was truly the undead Bellwether, how did she speak to you? Huh?
This doesn't make any sense.
Mr. Hughes, undead can follow simple orders, but they don't have the intelligence to speak.
Perhaps the witness was mistaken?
No, I'm sure I heard her yell at me. I remember because what she didn't make any sense. Exactly. He didn't say anything, but she yelled at him to be quiet. Wait a minute. I'm afraid I don't understand. We already established that the victim was dead long before the encounter with Mr. Hughes. But if what he said wasn't undead, what was it?
It had to be an undead. What other explanation is there?
It couldn't have been a major illusion. Otherwise, it would...
Construct with an illusion on that.
Ooh, you got a point there.
It's definitely a construct with an illusion.
Somebody put an illusion or disguise to make it look like Bellwether. Does that mean it was a person? No, if it was a person, how did Bellwether body end up in a lecture hall?
Just remember, it only knows simple commands.
Yes, true.
It probably was told to go in this direction, and if anybody if you meet anybody, just tell them to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. Whatever Jan saw, it needs to be something that can have transported Bellwater's body.
And you could hide the body inside the construct.
Not to mention, the construct also has Bellwater's voice, remember?
Mm-hmm.
What could have done that? The construct. That's it!
Ugh.
Do you have an answer for us, Mr. Cuthbert? What did the witness actually see? Your Honor, the witness didn't see the dead victim speaking. What he actually heard was her voice being recreated using magic.
Are you going to say that the voice was recreated using a spell?
Not a spell, Steelwind. It was artificery. And whoever the murderer is, they had a perfect piece of artificery available to them. One program with Catherine Bellwether's voice.
Oh. You can't possibly mean.
That's right, Steelwind. What Mr. Hughes saw was an arcane construct. An arcane construct? Think of it as a magically animated suit of armor, Your Honor. But we ruled out such possibility, hadn't we? Construct or not, no one can disguise themselves and carry the body to the classroom. A person would have been able to do that. But an arcane construct are a different thing entirely. These suits of armor are extremely large, but more importantly, they're hollow. I see. That means that theoretically, someone could have placed the victim's body inside it. The arcane construct wouldn't just transport the body. With an illusionary disguise, it would also confuse and mislead anyone who saw it.
Objection. I commend your deduction, Mr. Cuthbert, but I would never have considered that possibility. It's certainly plausible, but what does this prove exactly?
It proves that the body wasn't animated using necromancy. My client isn't the murderer.
The defendant's still capable of performing all of the acts he described. His compendium contains illusory disguise, after all.
There were several students in the library that day. Any of them could have committed the murder.
One might come to that conclusion if they hadn't considered one crucial piece of evidence. I'd like to present a new piece of evidence to the court, and here's the sword.
From under the table, you see Miss Steelwind pull out the bloody rapier. Blood? Is that...
Yes, Your Honor. This is the murder weapon. She was saving that for the perfect moment, wasn't she? This rapier was reported stolen by Miriam Frege weeks before the murder. And during the investigation, it was finally found. In the defendant's locker.
Wait!
He was clearly trying to use one of her possessions in a paltry attempt to frame her. I even stole the locker's nameplate and placed it over his.
Damn it. That's not what happened. But honestly, it sounds more plausible than what really took place.
We're basically back to square one, aren't we? Anyone could have told those constructs to do all those things.
Wait, anyone? Is that really true? Construct transported the professor's body and someone used an illusion to make it look like her. They even used pre-recorded voice to make the illusion more convincing. Could anyone have done that?
There's information about the constructs.
Yeah, this one. Limitation.
I don't know if it's the limitation, because it's about arguing that could anybody have done that, so it would have to be proving that there's a like certain people can't use it.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
At least that's what I think, anyway.
Who ordered the construct to hide the body? Hmm.
Oh, indeed. Well, it's based off of profiles, though, because it says who ordered.
But we don't really got that many choices, do we?
It has to be somebody that knows illusion magic. So, Iris... I mean, Bellwether can't do it about herself. She's dead.
He doesn't have magic. You don't think?
I mean, it's possible. He didn't want to lose his job.
Hmm.
I mean, it's either Iris or Theodore. But I don't know.
Hmm. Then again, Theodore is the headmaster. He probably has a better chance with the constructs. You think?
I don't know. Maybe he found out he was gonna get fired.
No, wait. They were supposed to keep secret, but according to Jan, Bellwater revealed the plan to the headmaster during a meeting a few weeks ago.
So he would have no reason to kill her.
He would have a reason to kill her.
I mean, it's possible that, again, Bellwether didn't want the position.
Hmm.
I can argue that like, why he didn't. The only one's plans it goes against is, obviously, the Freya family.
Yeah. But the Freya family wanted to get rid of him, remember?
Yes, they wanted to get rid of him. But they were not happy with Bellwether because she revealed the plan. Keep in mind, you know, Bellwether revealed the plan to the headmaster.
Hmm.
Either Bellwether did it because she's cocky as shit, or she did it because she wanted to stop that from happening.
So you think it's Miriam? But she's not illusion.
No, but it doesn't mean she doesn't have illusory disguise. It's hard to say without knowing her spell compendium.
That's true. Let's give it a shot. No, that's not right. The constructs are available to the students, but not all of their functions are enabled. Who would have every function available to them? I'm telling you, it's probably the headmaster.
Yeah, but, like...
Let me try. Called it!
I don't know.
Several memories flood back to you. Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words? I think she yelled at me to be quiet.
She yelled at me to be quiet. I tell him we've always had nothing but courtesy with each other. I don't know what got into it that day, but something put her in a foul mood. I don't know, I just find it weird just because it's like... Maybe, I don't know, maybe she did get cocky, told him, and he was like, fuck that shit, I'll get rid of her.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, the House Freya apparently got mad because Bellwether fucking outed it.
Sorry.
Be quiet.
Iris begins giggling. She seems amused by what's happening.
The construct's voice is just a series of pre-recorded messages. I'm not sure if you noticed, but he uses the voice of Professor Bellwether. Unfortunately, you can't make them say anything other than what's recorded. Only the headmaster can change those settings. But she still utilized the word "be quiet."
No, it can't be him.
What is it, Siren? Did you figure something out?
I did. But is he seriously the one behind all of this?
Seems fucky wucky.
Ms. Steelwind, earlier you said that my client could have orchestrated this entire ruse, but that's simply not true.
How so? Anyone could have ordered the construct to carry out the victim's body.
Yes, but not everyone can change what the contract's able to say. Only one individual has the credentials for that. Theodore Redmond, the headmaster of the Imperial Academy.
Wait, you're not serious, are you? You think the headmaster did all this?
I don't want to believe it. But he's the only person who could have done it.
That's completely ridiculous.
You wanna read?
Headmaster Redmond, yes, I am. Shh. Would never do something like this.
Miss Steelwind, there's only one common element between the witness encounters from Bellwether. It's what Bellwether said to them.
She yelled at both of them to be quiet.
Miriam Frieger was particularly surprised. She had a good relationship with the professor. But when greeted by the professor, Bellwether just shouted at her. Almost as if the professor was responding indiscriminately.
Ugh.
And recall her encounter with John Hughes. The professor knocked over a vase and shouted at him to be quiet immediately afterward. Even though he hadn't said anything.
She was responding to the sound of the vase breaking.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this, Steelwind. Where did Bellwether come from before she encountered Miss Frege and Mr. Hughes?
Her meeting?
With the headmaster. It appears that the defense truly means to indict Theodore Redmond. If so, we have no choice but to take a brief recess until we can brought here. There's no need. Fortunately for you, I'm already in the gallery. The headmaster stood up in the gallery seats and slowly walked onto the witness stand. Has he been there the entire time? Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Cuthbert. But do you think I am one who committed this crime? I'm sorry, Redmond. But no matter how I look at it, everything I found points to you. No, there's no need to apologize. In fact, I should commend you on your lanes of going to defend dear Wallace.
That court appreciates your understanding, Mr. Redmond.
But he's clearly angry. Now then, to clear the air, I suppose I should give my testimony on what happened that day. The day, I had a meeting scheduled with the professor at noon. She showed up to the expected time and we discussed various administrative matters. Our meeting went on for an hour, after which she left to prepare for the next class. Despite our many disagreements, we still know how to be civil with one another. After all, I had no reason to bear a personal grudge against her.
I just can't see it. He seems like such a nice person. Is he really the person we're looking for?
He has to be. No one else could have orchestrated this entire plot. You just need to find out how and why. It's that last line that bugs me. Really? Even after the way she's acted towards the student and faculty? Make no mistake. I have heard many complaints regarding her actions, and I've had many conversations with her to try to correct her behavior. But at the end of the day, she was a remarkable professor, regardless of her lack of people skills.
His testimony pretty much matches what we know so far.
I'm not entirely sure he's lying or not, but at the very least, we know that he was involved in the professor's murder. But why? If you can figure out his motive, you might be able to figure out how to reveal him to court. So she showed up exactly at 12 p.m.? More or less. Catherine Bellwether has many things, but she was never tardy. There aren't any witnesses who saw her before the meeting, so you don't have a way to disprove what she's saying. It'd be best to look elsewhere in the testimony.
How long did this meeting last, Headmaster?
Our meeting went on for an hour, after which she left, presumably to prepare for her next class. So that means the professor left your office at 1 p.m.? Yes, she was quite adamant about taking time to prepare her lesson plan. Now that you think about it, Frigga had no idea what the time was when she saw Bellwether. If the headmaster was lying about when the meeting ended, they'd be able to verify it, which would account for the hour gap that Steelwind mentioned. Damn it, did the headmaster really do this? After hearing so much about her, I find it a little hard to believe. I can see why you'd say that. But despite everything, I was still her superior. She always remained professional when speaking to me. Is it really true, though? I think there is a reason to hold a personal grudge. Remember this plan? No, wrong one.
Yeah, I know that.
But then this. According to Jan, Bellwether revealed a plan a few weeks ago. Redmond, did you really hold no animosity towards Professor Bellwether? Of course not. I did have strong opinions about her methods of teaching, but I always remained professional. We both did. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. In fact, I think you might have a very good reason to murder Professor, considering that she was going to take your job.
Yeah. Your job. What?
So, you knew about that.
I'm sorry, but I do not follow. Just how is a professor gonna take the headmaster's job?
According to Miriam Frigga, Catherine Bellwether was currying favor with the noble families. In fact, there was a plan to oust Mr. Redmond and appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster of the academy.
What? But in any case, I doubt the headmaster had any idea until now.
I'd like to remind the court of the witness' reaction just now. He said, so you knew about that. His reaction was one of surprise. But he wasn't surprised by this information. He was surprised that I knew this information.
That's...
Please, dear Arya. I may be a frail old man, but I'm perfectly capable of defending myself. If you have an explanation, Mr. Redmond, then by all means, I'd love to hear it. Gladly. It is true that I knew about Frega's plot beforehand, but I had only just learned about it. On the day of the murder, the professor told me about her plan. She was going to replace me as headmaster and replace the staff with arcane constructs. Now you might say that would have given me the perfect motive to murder the professor. However, the supposed murder weapon was stolen from Miss Frega. That happened weeks before the murder and discovery of the professor's treachery. I had no knowledge of the plan before she told me, and therefore I wouldn't have been able to steal the weapon and attempt to frame her.
Are you satisfied now, Mr. Cuthbert? There's no way the headmaster could have come up with this plan. If he really did do this, it means he stole the rapier too, right?
Most likely.
His alibi makes sense. He could have planned this whole thing unless he knew about Bellwether's plans. That would mean he'd know about this weeks ago. But how do you even find out?
The best way to tell a convincing lie is a lot of truths and only change one detail. Maybe Bellwether did tell him, but she actually told him weeks ago. The question is, how do I prove that? Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
Didn't, what's her face say something about that?
Yeah, she blabbed about it. It's supposed to be, according to Jam, Bellwether revealed a plan to the headmaster during a meeting a few weeks ago.
Yeah, right there, present evidence.
Not yet. We gotta get to the right point. He said the best way to tell a lie is to tell a lot of truths and just change one detail.
Yes, the time frame.
Yeah, but he says a bunch of times how mentions that he only just found out and this would have took him weeks to plan. The question is, we gotta press to get to the right moment.
No, but it's like he says you only learned about it recently.
Yeah. Doesn't that seem a bit too convenient for you? It may appear that way, yes. But on the day of the murder, the professor told me about her plan. She was going to replace me as headmaster.
And that's where you change it. There's contradictory.
Yeah, with the testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Redmond, you keep saying that you didn't know Bellwether's plot before yesterday. Do you still plan on standing behind that claim? Of course I am, because it is the truth. I'm sorry, Redmond, but you should really close your doors during your meetings. What? It is true that Bellwether revealed her plan to you during one of your meetings. In fact, Jan Hughes happened to overhear the same meeting, but he was only heard to over part where staff be replaced. And that strange part, Redmond, according to Mr. Hughes, this meeting occurred weeks ago.
You can't accuse the headmaster of perjury based on a rumor. Everything he said is just based off of secondhand information.
Mr. Hughes distinctly overheard that the staff will be replaced with arcane construct. That is too specific and too accurate to assume that he misheard a different conversation.
The professor probably only revealed her plans from the arcane constructs. That still doesn't prove that he knew about her treachery beforehand.
Professor Bellwether had no authority over the cleaning staff's employment. It wouldn't make sense for her to just reveal her plan for the arcane construct. That would only make sense if he knew that Bellwether would be taking his job. So tell me one thing, Redmond. Why did you find a need to lie about this? Is it because you saw a need to protect yourself from my accusations? Redmond, I ask you a question. Did you murder Catherine Bellwether? What a fine mess this is.
The headmaster.
So you truly plan on pushing this, are you? Well, your thesis sound promising, Mr. Cuthbert, but I believe your arguments could use a little work. You think I killed Catherine Bellwether? Me? I am an elderly man in the late 80s. I can barely walk, much less wield a rapier.
The construct again.
Yeah. But you and Bellwether weren't the only people in that room, were you? You needed an arcane construct to carry Bellwether's body. That means the construct would have been able to have been in your office. And with your privileges, you could have easily programmed the construct to stab Bellwether for you. Or even so, think about what would have transpired afterward. Recall Miss Steelwim's timeline of Bellwether's witness. With your theory, the construct would have spent more than an hour in the library. Having it there would have risked my so-called ruse to be discovered.
Luckily for you, I can't tell from night from day.
I can't use emotion. Intuition. The timing deduced from Miss Freya's testimony is predicated on one thing. She saw Bellwether exit your office after your meeting. However, if you assume that you're lying when your meeting ended, your entire argument falls apart. Miss Freya would have encountered Bellwether after her death at 2:01 p.m. Miss Freya wouldn't have made a mistake like that. Miss Freya thought it was morning when she saw Bellwether. She can't reliably tell the time. Then what about where the rapier was placed? If I really was the murderer, then I would have planted the weapon in young Wallace's locker. Several of the students had lockers that had access to. Wallace is one of the prize students. If I had to frame anyone, he would be the last person I chose.
The nameplates were switched.
Where's the nameplates?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, the nameplates were switched, so...
Yeah.
He wouldn't know that, like, everybody fucks with Wallace and does that to him.
That's the thing. Here it is. You're right, Mr. Redmond. You wouldn't try to frame Wallace, but you would try to frame Miriam Frege. It would have been the perfect act of revenge, wouldn't it? You murdered your treacherous co-worker and framed the daughter of the family that helped her. But something went wrong, didn't it, Redmond? The labels on Wallace's locker and Miriam's were switched. Anyone who saw that would have easily mixed them up. I am the headmaster of the Imperial Academy. I have records of all the students' lockers and where they're located. I truly planned it. I would have known where Wallace's locker was. A simple change in the labels wouldn't have made me a careless mistake like that.
His stuff was in it, though.
Exactly. So what, the same one? It doesn't say the stuff's in it, but I'm trying to figure it out.
I mean, there's the evidence in the locker. Go to the evidence in the locker. That one. Right?
No, that's not right. But it's all based on the assumption that he was the person that planted the rapier. No! Construct in the locker room. But it wasn't you, was it? Your arcane construct was the only one who planted the rapier in the locker. I bet you commanded it to place the rapier in the locker of Mira and Frigga, but it saw the idea of Wallace's locker and assumed that it was Mira's. This is... Redman begins desperately stammering, looking for something to say. Miss Steelwind, say something!
So what? Miss Cuthbert, your theory may be plausible, but there's no evidence to support it.
Ha! That's right! You don't have any proof, do you? Saying that I could have committed the murder isn't the same as proving I did it. Wait, but remember, it keeps logs of what happens. Every command given is stored. However, the command log must be regularly changed.
Cleared regularly.
Shit. That wasn't it. No, wait. With the exception, isn't allowing anyone in the academy. Inside key areas. Do you think this might be helping?
I don't know, because it doesn't mention the constructs.
There is no evidence of my orders. No evidence of the constructs. That's the issue. I don't like say scumming, but I feel like I'm going to have to. I don't think there is.
I mean, there has to be something. They wouldn't make it unwinnable.
There is something, but I'm trying to think.
So, wait a minute. So the one room smelled so bad that people wouldn't normally walk in it, but Bellwether walked into it.
Yeah. But that's the foul classroom smell. Weeks ago, the headmaster performed an alchemy experiment incorrectly.
I don't know.
But the main thing is literally there's no evidence.
We have to prove that we have to prove that he gave the orders.
With the exception of you and Celeste, Prosecutor Stillwater isn't letting anyone inside key areas of the academy. She isn't even allowing the Knights of the Inquisition within these areas.
That's not going to be it, because it has nothing to do with him.
There's no evidence.
We have to prove that he's the one, like, he gave the orders.
That's the thing. I know we got
Okay,
some.
but wait, didn't hold up. What about the prior crime scene? Because there was manipulation prior.
Was that under autopsy or the smell of the classroom?
I mean, I'm telling you, it probably has to do with the classroom.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
This just says weeks ago the headmaster performed an alchemy experiment incorrectly.
Yes, but it was showing that he manipulated the crime scene because that smell was there hiding the crime scene.
Hmm.
And and he did that specifically.
Yeah. Hmm. I did take some damage, so let me see if I can find a way to save. But I don't think that's it.
No, but he manipulated a crime scene, and the crime scene was that room.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's gotta be that.
I'll give it a shot. Nope. That's not right. Wasn't there some sort of evidence that would track the orders given to him? So that wasn't working, Rena.
I don't know. The only other thing I can think of is the construct itself.
Yeah, but I hit that earlier and that didn't work.
Which one, though? There's two of them.
This one. This one literally says every command given to a construct is stored in command log. However, the command
Okay, what does the other one say?
that one is just that one just says it's in the locker room.
And it's inactive, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't cleared?
Hmm. Try it. Oh, there it is. Your arcane construct is still in the locker room where it planted the rapier. All we have to do is take a look inside and we'll see the blood inside. Is that so, Mr. Cuthbert? What? Why does he still look so confident?
No, Mr. Cuthbert, I already checked inside the construct during my investigation. The interior is completely clean.
What?
I mean, at least...
The construct's primary function is to assist and clean, dear Tyrion. They have a function that allows them to clean themselves inside and out. Well, we can still look at his command history, right?
Think about it, Mr. Cuthbert. Do you honestly think the murderer would leave behind evidence like that? I'm sure that whoever orchestrated this plot, they ordered the construct to wipe its logs when it was finished.
No. That's right, Mr. Cuthbert. The case against me is theoretical at best, but I suppose I can still give you marks for trying. Damn it, he thought of everything. Was he seriously able to get rid of all the evidence? You're running out of options, but you still have one tool left. It's unbecoming to glare like that, young Tyrion. Bring yourself back to the moment with Garrick Pierce. Think about what's at stake for Wallace, just like you did with Celeste. His life and his future in your hands. You activated the Empower Eye again. Redmond did a good job covering his tracks, but there has to be something that he forgot to get rid of. The foul smell you were talking about. I wonder, did I leave any other pieces of evidence behind? Was I too far reckless? But I needed some way to keep the lecture hall empty. Oh right, he must have botched the alchemy experience on purpose to keep the lecture hall cleared. But that doesn't really tell you anything that you can use right now. What about the evidence of dishonesty? I did everything I could to cast doubt on Freya's brat. I can't believe Valerie placed a trace of necromancy on the body. To make matters worse, the construct placed the evidence in the wrong locker. So he did send a construct to the locker room to plant the evidence. He must have also fabricated the documents to accuse Freya of cheating. It was all to make her look like the murderer, but this doesn't give you anything new to work with. Rena?
Yes,
You still alive?
Yes, I am still alive, Juris.
What about the limits? The construct's orders were clear. Plant the body in the lecture hall 2B, and then plant the evidence in Freya's locker. It was supposed to head to the storage room afterward. What happened? Interesting. The construct wasn't supposed to be in the locker room. Think it was the rapier?
Maybe.
I did everything I could to cast doubt on Freya's brat. Can't believe Valerie placed a trace of necromancy on the body. To make matters worse, the construct placed the evidence in the wrong locker. But this doesn't give you anything new to work with. Maybe we should go back to the smell. I wonder, did I leave any other pieces of evidence behind? I was far too reckless, but I need something to keep the lecture hall empty. Oh right, he must have botched the alchemy experiment on purpose to keep the lecture hall clear. But that doesn't tell me anything right now. The orders. Why am I thinking of this now? That piece of evidence didn't evoke anything. What about the lockdown system?
Maybe?
I had to do everything I could to shift guilt away from myself. But did I leave any holes in my alibi? No, I accounted for everything. There's no way I left any evidence behind. No.
What was it that he was saying?
So we know that he planted the evidence. But it's like, there's one more piece.
No. What was his response, though? Go back. Close this for a second. Close this for a second.
Okay.
What did he say? What was his last thing?
To make matters worse, the construct placed the evidence in the long rocker. He must have also fabricated the documents to accuse Freya of cheating. It was all to make her look like the murderer, but this doesn't give you anything new. I can't believe Valerie placed a trace of necromancy on the body. Men wounds? No.
What did you last present?
Try projecting something related to the construct's actions. What?
No. What was the last thing that you did?
It was the evidence.
The dishonesty of the evidence?
Yeah. What about the construct's logic limitation? The contract's orders were clear. Plant the body in the lecture hall 2B, and then plant the evidence in Freya's locker. It was supposed to head to the storage room afterward. What happened? Interesting. The construct wasn't supposed to be in the locker room.
That's the limitations then.
I did just hit that. We're trying to figure out what's kept the construct from moving.
I mean, the limitation would have been it. Is it the fact that it went inactive?
Might be. Why was the construct in the locker room, though? It shouldn't have been there if it would follow my orders. No matter, it wiped its logs. They have nothing on me, so he did order to wipe its logs. In order to cover all of his tracks, it probably would have done that last. Wait, he ordered the construct to go to the storage room? It would have done that after it was finished planting the evidence in the locker room. But we found it in the locker room. What stopped the construct from leaving? Something stopped it from leaving. Logic limitation. No, that's not right.
No. There was the lockdown, remember?
Oh, yeah.
No, nothing could move.
The lockdown.
The lockdown.
Right. The body was supposedly reported earlier than Redmond expected. That means he probably started the lockdown before the construct was finished in the locker room. But what does that change anything? The limitations.
Yeah, well, it can't go anywhere if it's locked down. If the orders stopped.
Redmond's series of command was interrupted by the lockdown. Right, the series of command would have been interrupted. Wait a minute.
The constructs execute a series of commands in the order that they are given. But let's say one of those tasks is impossible to complete. When the construct gets to that task, they will deem it an entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether. So if a task in the series and the commands are impossible, then the command will interrupt the entire series. So it didn't clear the logs.
The construct's final command was to wipe its memory. But if it's ordered to interrupt it by the lockdown, then... Miss Steelwind, I have nothing more to ask this witness. Rena.
What?
Ah.
I think I was just staring at her face and I was like, oh. You're not giving up, are you?
Do you even have to ask?
Yeah, I thought so. But how are you gonna prove that he did it if he's not testifying?
Don't worry. The next witness testimony will be all I need.
Next witness? Yeah. That look on your face isn't one of defeat. Just what are you planning?
Ha! It's nothing but desperate bravado. Now, if you'll excuse me.
You've let your core get away, Mr. Cuthbert. I hope you know what you're doing.
I do, Miss Steelwind. First, I'd like for the Inquisition to bring the arcane construct in the Academy's locker room.
We've already established that the murder could have wiped his history.
Please, just humor me for a second, Miss Steelwind.
Very well. Bailiff, please relay Mr. Cuthbert's request to the Commander White. Here's your construct. I hope you know what you're doing, Mr. Cuthbert.
Construct! What are your orders? Please recite your command history. Reporting. Command 1, stand by at Headmaster's office. Command 2, await vocal signal. Attack from Theodore Redmond. You heard Redmond stand up from the gallery. Seeing this, the prosecutor watches him and carefully clutches the handle of her cane. Command 3, treat Catherine Bellwether as a hostile and neutralize. Construct, wipe your... Before he can finish his sentence, the prosecutor points her cane at the headmaster. Magic energy shoots from it and collides directly with him. The magic ray wraiths around his body and stops him from moving. He's clearly trying to struggle against it, but it looks like he can't even move his mouth. Miss Steelwind.
Excuse the interruption. Please continue.
Command 4, await vocal signal to leave from Theodore Redmond. Command 5, move to classroom 2B. Reply to any inquiries with voice line number 3. Command 6, remove Catherine Bellwether from interior frame and place on floor. Thank you, Construct. You can stop now. I think we all know the rest. But just to be clear, who gave you this series of command? Commands were provided by Headmaster Theodore Redmond. How? I ordered the construct to wipe its command history. Mr. Redmond, constructs don't follow the same logic that humans do. They're prone to error when their commands are impossible to execute. Impossible? In what way are my commands impossible? You were the one who made it impossible. You activated the lockdown system. The lockdown? The body was found earlier than you'd like. You had no choice but to immediately activate the lockdown system when it was reported. However, the construct was still in the locker room when you did this. So that's why it was there. The construct finished its task in the locker room, but then tried to follow your next command. It tried to move to the storage room, but it was prevented by doing so. Completion of the command was impossible. So, the series of commands was stopped before it wiped its history. You little... Theodore Redmond, you ordered your construct to murder Catherine Bellwether. Then you planned to place the murder weapon in the locker to frame Miriam Frege. And you have the construct's testimony to prove it. And that's checkmate.
Damn. I can't believe it. How could you do something like this, Headmaster?
She was going to take everything from me. My position, my academy, my students. Everything would have been gone. It was going to be stolen by her and the Freyas.
Well, now you're fucked. Now it's stolen from you anyway.
Yeah.
Oi. Why didn't you say anything to me? I could have...
Don't you dare stand there and act ignorant, Lady Steelwind. Do you think the Freyas acted alone? Your father was part of this plot, too.
No, what?
I have nothing to say to you. I thought you were different. I listened to your lies about societal reform. In the end, you were just like the rest of the aristocracy.
No.
By the scale, Lord, what have I done? I was even willing to sacrifice poor Wallace. I can't believe Why did I listen to... It appears we have a full confession. The court sees no reason to prolong this any further. Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell.
Of course it was the teacher.
Mr. Cuthbert, you really did it.
Or I guess the... Academy... Headmaster.
Yeah.
Crazy. Feels amazing, right? Like a big weight being lifted from your shoulders.
It does, but I can't believe the headmaster was the one who did this. Right, despite everything Redmond did, he was the one that allowed Wallace to pursue his dreams. What's more, he wasn't even trying to frame Wally. He was trying to frame the royal brat. I'm sorry. I'm sure this is bittersweet for you. What am I going to do now? Headmaster Redmond was the only reason that I could even attend the academy. With him gone.
No, don't think like that. You gotta quit it. I'm sure it'll work out.
You want to agree, but necromancy is basically taboo. Without Redmond's support, there aren't many places he could learn it legitimately. And then there's the Imperial Academy.
Hey, don't get all sad on me, too.
Sorry, I was just thinking. With Redmond gone, the Freyas will probably just appoint another sycophant as the headmaster. Valentina, Valerie, and Jean, they're all going to lose their jobs.
Come on, you found the truth, and you put a murderer behind bars. You saved Wallace. She's right.
As you start to exit the courtroom, you're greeted by Miss Tamura. She was in the gallery the entire time.
At the end of the day, you saved Wallace from a wrongful conviction. You should be proud of yourself for that.
I suppose you're right. Maybe I'm just overthinking things. But the doubt still lingers in your mind.
Now come on, I'm taking Wallace to the restaurant we went to last time.
Do you remember how much that place cost?
Don't worry, I have plenty of gold.
Am I the only one on this team not making any cash?
Why don't you meet us there, Celeste? I need to talk with Tyrion for a moment. Alright. Let's go, Wallace. Where'd she get the money from?
She's a mercenary, remember?
True, but she's been bodyguarding us. When did she have the time?
Probably in between or something?
I don't know. She's been with us the entire time.
Okay.
You activated the Empower Eye again, didn't you?
She doesn't appear to be praising you. I did. I didn't really have a choice.
The Eye of a Horse is a powerful tool, Tyrion. That's twice now that you used the Empower Eye to get out of tough spot. You can't keep relying on it if you want to grow as an attorney. One day you'll find a witness the Empowered Eye won't work on.
It worked for me this far, though. But I suppose you're right. I'll try to rely on it less next time. And that marked the end of another case in my career as a defense attorney. Another life saved and another murderer brought to justice. But I still couldn't shake the feeling of uneasiness. Was it guilt that would happen to the faculty staff? Or was it something else?
Episode end.
Man, Steelwind has been talking with the perp for hours. What they're even to ask at this point? Turns out she doesn't trust his testimony. Something about his memories not matching up with the crime scene. You don't think he has mage blight, does he? No, it's not that. She found that damn symbol etched onto his desk. Or what does she call it? The purple mark. Oh, for the love of... Not this again. Look, if the little lady wants to chase the boogeyman, just let her. At least this time, she's doing it personally instead of dragging us along.
Sleep.
Hey! What's up with...
I knew she was up to no good. Who did this to your desk?
What has gotten into you? I've already admitted to everything. What more could you possibly want from me?
Where does this graffiti come from? What is the symbol? What is this purple mark?
I don't know. A student must have done it at some point.
Think very hard, Headmaster. When did you receive this purple symbol? Focus on the moment before you received this.
Wait a minute. I remember it now. But how? Lady Steelwind? Lady Steelwind! Ariel, what happened? Are you okay?
That was close. My elation over meeting him was almost made me forget.
Iris, what are you doing here? Why? Wait, I remember now. It was you. You put those ideas into my mind. You're the one who told me to murder Bellwether.
Oh, you humans never fail to amuse me. I didn't make you do anything. Everything you did on the day, all the planning, all the preparation, that came from your own mind. And I have to say, I'm quite entertained with the scheme you came up with. Why, you even broke into Miriam's room. I didn't know I had it in you, old man.
You made me forget about our conversation, but how? Illusions can't affect the mind. Magic can't affect my mind.
It's a shame, though. I would have much rather turned Wallace into the antagonist of this chapter. Could you imagine if he turned? It would have been spectacular. Armies of the undead running rampant in the streets. But alas, even I couldn't corrupt his pure soul.
Answer me. Who are you? What are you?
Who am I? I am the Lord of the Sixth Circle.
Ah!
And now he's dead.
Ah. And with that, the chapter is done.
Yes.
All right, and I actually know who I'm going to raid. It's not even a matter of VTubing this time. Well, you know who I'm going to raid, the homeboy. Everybody, all my magic. Congrats, Rina, on solving another case with Celtro. God damn it, Celtro.
I know, I'm so good at this, aren't I?
I'm literally the main character of the stream.
What? Nah, it's me and Celtro.
He wasn't even in the VC.
He was here the whole time.
Well, I know you gotta go to bed, and tomorrow...
True detectives, Rina and Celtro, see? Ghost gets it.
Oh, bite me, you guys. Well, other than you guys messing with me, I want you all to give a big how do you do and whatever you want to say to the homeboy Soulless.
Duras made a good villain. I mean, that seems about right for Duras.
God damn it.
That's where he belongs.
You.
He's the villain.
Sometimes you make me wonder why
Duras'
I haven't...
villain arc has begun.
Sometimes it makes me wonder why I haven't crashed out even more into this. Let me cancel for now while we talk.
No, go ahead. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, so we're gonna go raid into Soulless Mage. He's playing Elden Ring right now, a game you should try to play, Rena.
No.
Look, you need to have more taste in games, okay?
I have plenty of taste in games.
Alright. Well, we'll see you all next time. Any last words, Rena?
See me tomorrow. I start at night tomorrow.
Yeah, bite me. Alright, have a good night, everybody.
Duras is the villain.
You really make me question my whole life.